Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to March 11th meeting of the Lafayette Design Review Commission. If you have any comments on the agenda items, please submit it to staff now. If you're part of the applicant team, you don't need to do that. You're going to present next. We are going to start the meeting. All right. We are going to start the meeting with a roll call.
Glenn Cass present.
Armand Hadidu present.
Andre present.
Richard Stanton present. Thank you. We have 4 of the commissioners present tonight, meeting the quorum. Then we are going to move on to adoption of the agenda. I'll move that we adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we adopt the agenda. We are going to move on to public comments for items not on this or an upcoming agenda and within the purview of the commission. Do we have any raised hands?
No, there's no one here.
Okay, thank you. So we are going to move on to item 4, consent calendar. We've got the meeting minutes for February 26th. Does anybody want to make any modifications to minutes? All in favor, say aye.
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 So we adopt the minutes. Then we are going to move on to item 6A, HDP 20-23 Stroud Art and Zoning request for 1 hillside development permit, 2 design review, and 3 grading permit to demolish an existing 1,386 square foot, 1-story single family residential home and construct a 3,299 square foot, 2-story single family residence and 457 square foot garage with a maximum ridge height of approximately 28 foot 4 inches, proposing 600 cubic yard soil export in the hillside overlay district at 1362 Sunset Loop. Tonight we have project planner Nicole Zito to present the project, please.
Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Nicole Zittle, the project planner for 1362 Sunset Loop. So at the last meeting on February 26th, the DRC considered new design changes and directed the applicant to develop the revised colors and materials board and renderings. And the applicant has submitted new site plan, elevations, colors and material board and renderings. And for this analysis, staff can make the findings for approval. So I will be going through each of the elements that were submitted as part of the revision, starting with this site plan. So what I've highlighted in the blue box is the addition of the pervious pavers at the driveway entrance. I've also highlighted in red the revised wooden fence. There was a wooden fence proposed as part of the February 26th hearing, but in the site plan it is better called out and the height of it is identified. So as part of the colors and materials study, the applicant provided 2 elevations demonstrating at the top board and batten siding and at the bottom horizontal lac siding. And it also shows that new wooden fence that's 7 feet in height. And so the updated colors and materials board, it includes the colors of the wood fence, an example of the driveway entrance pavers, and a black metal roof over the first story, and a change from white to dark and light gray sided colors. So in this image, I'm showing you the rendering that was presented at the last hearing, and that shows the white siding and the copper metal roof. It does not show the revised fencing. It also does not show the the pavers at the driveway entrance. Now I'm going to be going through each of the 4 renderings that the applicant submitted. Starting with rendering number 1, we have vertical board and batten siding. It is white on first and second story, and there is a black metal roof. And in all of the renderings, we will be seeing the 7-foot wooden fence. So rendering number 2 also has the board and batten siding, but with a dark gray second story and the white white first story with a black metal roof as well. Rendering number 3 is board and batten again, but with a lighter gray first floor and a darker gray second floor, and that same black metal roof. The final rendering is the same color scheme as rendering 3, but instead of board and batten, the applicant proposes horizontal lap siding. And in all of the renderings, we also see the proposed pavers at the driveway entrance. So in this slide, I kind of show a comparison of the previously proposed rendering and the 2 renderings that staff recommends the DRC approve. Staff finds that rendering 3 and 4 are compatible with the goals of the residential design guidelines that encourage darker natural colors for residences in the hillside area. And it also addresses the commissioner's recommendation to have the first and second story roofs be similar in color to each other. Staff has added a project specific condition that will list the approved color of the first story, the second story, and the roof based on DRC's decision tonight. No public comments were received on this item, and staff recommends that the DRC find this project exempt from CEQA and adopt resolution 2024-09 approving the project subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for this one? So we are gonna move on to applicant's presentation.
Members of the Design Review Commission, I'm Bill Wood, William Wood Architects, and as we met last time, we did different versions of the colors, and it was kind of interesting to see, because a lot of homes we don't do the numerous colors, but actually it worked out great. I really agree with staff on scheme 3. I like the best too, and the light gray on the first floor and the dark gray on the second floor. And one reason why I kind of prefer the board and batten, it seems to be more updated than the lap siding I've been using since the 80s, and I don't know. And since we're going with the darker colors, I think that'll, and plus the darker roof as well, I think it's a little bit more striking and more updated for the neighborhood. A lot of the homes do have lap siding, and I think it needs to have a mixture of that. And then also we took the fencing and showed it exactly on the site plan. I think the previous plan that had the fence coming down was inaccurate, because normally you don't want to have the fence come down beyond the front yard setback. You know, you have to reduce it down to 3 feet, and it wasn't necessary. So the intent was to try to keep the fence right at the edge of the garage area, maybe set back 3 or 4 feet, and then have a gate there that goes through, rather than having the fence go all the way down to the street, because nobody in the neighborhood has that on there. Other than that, the pavers were added also to the entrance, and then the driveway is a little bit steeper. It's probably about 10%, 12% in that area where it goes back beyond the approach area. So we did all the pervious pavers in that first area as well. Other than that, I mean, I agree with staff. I think that scheme 3 was a favorite of everybody's, at least the client, and me, and staff as well. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? No. I have a question for the soffit material. What do you think for that material?
The soffit material I like to do is stucco.
Okay.
I mean, we could do a wood material. We could do I mean, a lot of the homes either have the bead board or the siding. It's a flush wood siding that's painted.
Right.
There's a lot of different options there. I mean, I'd be open for suggestions too on what you'd like. I didn't want to introduce too many different materials, but either we do a stucco finish with a nice drip screed for vents, and I like closed in soffits rather than having open rafters. Looks more complete.
Sure.
Well, actually, on that topic, if I could ask a question.
Yeah.
The in your various renderings, you haven't changed the color of the soffits at all. It's still.
I do the soffits probably the same. I'd probably take the light gray on the first floor, and might do the same color gray for both floors, unless you want to do a dark gray for the. I mean, that way the walls kind of transition into the soffit of the overhang.
So, are you suggesting a 5th color scheme?
No.
Well, I didn't. I'm sorry if I misunderstood you.
Well, originally we were going to do that, leave that as a light color. A lot of times we do that as light, just to reflect light back into the windows when you're inside the house. You know, a lot of times But the dark colors are not gonna do much reflecting, on the building itself, so, I mean, we're open for options. Right now, we're showing it as the white, but we can change that to if I was gonna do a soffit with any other color besides the white, I'd do the light gray. I don't think I would do the dark gray on the soffit.
Yeah, I personally think that would look good.
Yeah.
Great, any more questions for the applicant? No? Do we have any, raised hand for the public comments? Thank you.
No.
No? Okay, so we are gonna move on to commissioners' comments. Who wants to go first?
I can start.
Sure.
I think I am perfectly comfortable with your options, 3 or 4. And if you like the board and batten, I have no objection to that. And I do think that light gray soffit color, would look good with that scheme. I think it's improved and thank you for bringing it to us this way.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my only comment would be, I think the board and batten looks better than the scheme 4, so I would prefer that one. But otherwise, as far as the colors go, I think what you proposed is fine. I have no further comments.
Yeah, thank you.
And I agree with Rich and John.
I think, yeah, I agree. I think the, board and batten, it has a better texture. So I support your suggestion about using or, going with that option. And I agree with John regarding the lighter gray for the soffit. It's just gonna kind of blend it in better with the walls, and as you mentioned, just reflection of the light with the lighter gray would look good. With that, I'm in support of the option 3, and can I make a motion?
You can make a motion?
All right, so I find the project is exempt from CEQA and adopt resolution 2024-09 approving the project subject to conditions.
I'll second.
Do we need to hear the conditions, or is that clear?
Oh,
The
sorry.
additional
The
conditions?
ones written.
There's just one project specific condition to list the approved colors of each floor. So light gray first floor, dark gray second floor, black metal roof, and then I'll add for the light gray soffit.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I will second.
Great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So we approved the project, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And appeal period, and then you can submit to the planning for,
For building, right? You're gonna go for building permit?
sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So first step is go to the planning
Mhm.
Right,
for there before we go to the county. We'll wait 10 days for central San anyway.
right.
Yeah, I'll send you an approval letter
Okay.
outlining all steps.
Right. Thanks, Nicole. Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thanks.
So we are gonna move on to next item 8A, art volunteer for Friday, March 15th.
I can do that.
Thank you. And item 10A, staff liaisons report, EB Mod Board of Directors, vacancy in floor 2. Do we need to read the notice of vacancy, or is it just? Right.
People know and announce the meeting that there is a vacancy. The Ward 2 does include Lafayette, but is larger than the city itself. And it's open and those who are interested in expanding this public service. I will, if anyone indicates interest, I can send them the email we received with a link to the application, et cetera.
Sure, thank you. With that, we adjourn the meeting.
Well, it's not on the agenda, but I noticed that Travis isn't here, and he hasn't been here like 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5. And last time when he was here, he didn't say anything.
May I ask that you propose an item to be added to the agenda?
Yeah, I
Or any
think, well, I propose that staff reach out to him and find out what's going on.
Received. Thank you.
And should we include that in the agenda on the next meeting?
We can do that. If you'd like to discuss it further, it's up to you. If you would like to have it.
I don't need to discuss it further. I just, if he has decided that this isn't what he wants to
I will
do,
reach out.
It should be on the, if that's the case, we would.
If I receive that information, I will share that and we can discuss it if needed. We just cannot discuss anything not on the agenda. All right.
Thanks,
okay.
everyone.
Thanks, all. Thank you all.
52 minutes. Did you, was it, Cap still in halftime and then?
Oh, they started.